welcome to the High School Football Pigskin Show. I'm your host, Michael Anderson. I have traveled the beautiful state of Georgia in search for the best games. I have traveled to South Georgia. I have traveled to Middle Georgia. And finally, I have traveled to North Georgia. During my travels, viewers have interacted with me, made requests, and shared kind words about my blog show. I would like to thank you for your viewership and most of all, your support. As an ex-football player and an ex-coach, I know it's very important to set good examples for our young men and women participating in sports, and we should always be aware of this. We should take the well-being of our young men and women in the highest regard. Good evening. My travels take me to Gwinnett County, home of the Mill Creek Hawks. I'm here to witness the contest between the Mill Creek Hawks versus the Colquitt Packers. My expectations are that this will be a game of epic proportions. I spent a lot of time last year attending Colquitt County football games, and I was waiting on this year's football team to move from very good to great. Last night, Colquitt County moved from good to great. They played 4 full outstanding football quarters, and they remind me of last year's football team. You see, folks, no one, including myself, can measure the heart of a football team, especially on Friday nights. Colquitt County showed a lot of heart last night. Although Mill Creek fought hard, Colquitt County was resilient and they countered every Mill Creek score. Mill Creek's defense played pretty good last night against the run, but they gave up the long ball pass. Mill Creek's offense was sporadic at best in their running and passing game, but they did manage to put up 31 points, of course with the help of their special teams as well. Colquitt County had a difficult time running the ball in the first 3 quarters, but the running game came alive in the 4th quarter. And they also torched Mill Creek secondary with the long ball pass. So, I think that Colquitt County had an outstanding performance last night. Colquitt County will move on to take on Roswell in the state Class 6A finals next week. Roswell was in a back and forth contest with Grayson. Basically, it looked like Grayson was going to win the game, but Roswell came back at the end and won the football game. With the performance of Colquitt County last night, it's hard to pick against them, but I will stick with Colquitt for the repeat of the Class 6A state championship this year. In my opinion, Colquitt County is a team that would be hard to beat if they play the same way they played last night. Moving over to Class 5A. It looks like the great running game of Alatoona was too much for Northgate last night, and Glenn Academy was in a hard-fought game with Ware County. Glenn Academy beat Ware County in the regular season and also beat them again last night. So Alatoona would take on Glenn Academy in the finals. I think that the great offense of Alatoona would be too much for Glenn Academy. So I'm picking Alatoona to win the Class 5A state championship. If this happens, Cobb County would have another state football championship following Mount Perrin last year. Moving over to Class 4A. It looks like Woodward Academy had an early lead on Beaufort before Beaufort came roaring back to beat Woodward. And Cartersville routed Bainbridge with their passing game. Cartersville moves on to take on Beaufort in the state championship game next week. My pick is Beaufort to win the Class 4A state football championship. Moving on to Class 3A. Blessed Trinity squeaked past Calhoun and managed to prevail. And Westminster managed to beat a very talented Cedar Grove football team. Hats off to Cedar Grove for an awesome football season. Well, Blessed Trinity moves on to take on Westminster. My pick is Blessed Trinity win the Class 3A state championship. Moving on to Class 2A. Fitzgerald dominated Jefferson County with their offense and prevailed. And Pace Academy beat GAC to advance to play Fitzgerald next week. My pick is Fitzgerald to win the Class 2A state championship. Moving on to Class 1A public. Clinch County beat Commerce and Irving County squeaked by ECI. Irving County and Clinch County face off next week. My pick is Clinch County to win the Class 1A public state football championship. Moving on to Class 1A private. Eagles Landing Christian beat Park Avenue, and Aquinas squeaked by Stratford Academy. Eagles Landing Christian will face off against Aquinas next week. My pick is Eagle Landing Christian to win the Class 1A private state championship. I have truly enjoyed this high school football season and have met so many passionate fans in the process. Thank you for your viewership and your support. Have a happy holiday. Take me to your football game.
Do the Harlem Shake.